Good morning, everybody. So we'll just wait a couple of seconds before we get cracking on with this webinar today, just to allow some of the new entries to sort of enter into the waiting room. Um, as I'm waiting for everybody to come in, I just thought I'd do a little bit of housekeeping. So first of all, I'll introduce myself. As you can see by my lovely banner on screen, my name's Danny Lambert. I'm the Senior Sales Lead here at Rex. I can see by some of the attendees that some of you may have dealt with me firsthand, and if not, it's a pleasure to see all of you guys joining today. I'm also joined by Senior Product Manager Joel Luther, and he will be answering any questions that you might have for us as we go throughout this webinar today. Just to give you a little bit of context about why we're all joining together today, and again, thank you for joining. We're essentially just going to be really looking forward to showcasing the Rex Hub, which is going to be available for your vendors as of right now. Now, also as well, I thought I'd like to point out, we love engagement. So feel free to use the reaction buttons, just make yourself known. The reactions are a bit of a self-esteem boost for myself. So let's engage, let's make it as fun as possible and enjoyable as possible. But first of all, we'll get cracking and we'll say, what is Rex Hub? Now, essentially what Rex Hub is, it's going to give your vendors self-service access to everything from viewings and offers to marketing updates and even performance insights inside of their own hub. Now, it can be used for pre-market access, allowing you to load marketing copy and images for approval. And then once properties are live, your vendors can see campaign statistics in real time, which provides world-class points of difference for you as an agent. We're also going to talk through the ways that you can use Rex Hub in the demo in just a moment. But firstly, I thought I'd go through the reasons why we built it and what problems it's actually going to solve for you. Now at Rex, as you all know, we're super in tune with the market trends and we build our product roadmap based on what's coming for the future of the industry, just to realistically meet your needs as well as your customers' needs as well. And there's a few reasons why we built it. But first of all, it's simply to meet the vendor expectations with 24/7 digital access. Just picture yourselves in the moment of thinking about what world we live in today. Vendors expect the same on-demand digital access that they get from things like tracking an Uber or tracking their food delivery on Uber Eats, or even parcels that are being delivered via Amazon. Rex Hub gives them real-time visibility into their property sale anytime, anywhere. But you can still control the type of data and the timings that it's shared. But it's not all about self-service. The property industry is built on connections. So we want to enable conversations. We don't want to replace them. So Rex Hub's designed to realistically enhance agent relationships and prompt more meaningful conversations, positioning the agent as the trusted advisor. We can't lose that human touch when we're dealing with property in the UK, but Rex Hub is an enabler while you're delivering that competitive edge. And last but not least, it's not just another portal. It's going to be your portal. You're going to keep up to date with tech, and they can feel that the vendors are essentially really engaged with your platform, and they're just really, really overwhelmed with, or not overwhelmed, I should say. They're really, really amazed by the level of service that you're providing. And it can also be completely customizable based on the branding that you have. And we're ensuring that they're going to have a world-class digital experience. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys right now is I'm going to jump into my screen here. Should enable me to share screen. And then you guys should all be able to see my screen. Now, as you come into your Rex account, this will look very familiar. This is obviously one of the listing records that exists from within Rex. Down the left-hand side here, you'll have your navigation bar. Now, in the navigation bar, there's the settings tab, and you'll have agency and branding. Now, if you click into the agency and branding section, you'll be able to see a new section down the left-hand side, which is Rex Hub settings. If you select Rex Hub settings, we can open these settings in your account. And essentially, we can look at branding that Rex Hub for you. So everything to do with logos, primary logos, secondary logos, branding, so things like the colors, the navigation color, whether it might be brand fonts, so it's simply textiles, uploaded fonts, even if they're customizable fonts. It can very much be customizable to the way that you want it to sort of look and feel based on the way that it's been built in the platform. However, we also know that some agents want to showcase some parts of the Rex Hub, but not all parts. So there is a feature preference down the left-hand side, which enables you to toggle things on and off. So you might not want to show them the offers at this stage, so you can turn it off. With the marketing functionality, obviously you're going to be using this part of Rex Hub to get marketing content and marketing material approved by your vendor. So you might want to not show them the marketing costs, or you might want to not show them the feedback regarding the marketing, so on and so forth. And you can just toggle these off as and when you want to. What I'll very quickly do is I'll jump back into the listing record that we was just on, and we'll start to have a real deep dive into the Rex Hub. Now, to access the Rex Hub and to send it out to your vendors, in your listing record, in the top bar on the left-hand side, there'll be the reporting section where you normally would deliver those amazing vendor reports that you'll send out to your vendors. However, there's now a section on here which says Share Rex Hub Login. Now, if I click on this, you'll be very, very pleased to know this isn't going to be something that your vendors are going to have a username and passwords for, because it's going to be a magic link that's sent to them. So it'll be a unique link that takes them straight to their Rex Hub login. Now, again, they're going to have so many different logins that they're probably going to need to remember. This is just taking the strain away from memorizing one more username and password. There's a magic link. You can set templates up in the back end of Rex so that when you send that link, it'll be a custom white labeled email that goes from your agency to that vendor with their magic link for Rex Hub. Next, let's preview Rex Hub, and we'll jump straight into what you can really look and see on this Rex Hub. So to give you a very brief overview, you'll be able to see at the top of your screen the day since the listing. So you might be able to see that, look, it's been on the market for 58 days. There's been 10 total inquiries. There's been 9 viewings so far, there's been a certain amount of viewings so far. There's been a certain amount of attendees. This is the total number of offers that have been received from that particular property viewings as well. What you're also going to have the ability to showcase are agent updates. So if you did want to showcase anything within Rex Hub, you could say, this week we've had 5 additional viewings, taking us to 22 viewings overall. We've now got 3 buyers that are actually preparing to submit offers, giving your agent that really up-to-date information. As I said, we don't want to take away conversation. We want to make the conversations more meaningful. So every time a vendor picks up the phone and says, Danny, I haven't had an update on my property, they don't need to make them pointless phone calls anymore, because they can go and see the offers and they can see all of the feedback that's listed in the agent updates of the Rex Hub. As we scroll down, we can actually see the property feedback that will pull through from your Rex account into Rex Hub. So whether Jackie W has left some feedback, this is now a hot buyer offer. They've just put down a really great offer on this property. You'll also be able to see the recent events. So any viewings that have taken place, it will tell you the time and dates they've taken place. But it will also show you that interest level. So, for example, if you're logging viewings as hot viewings, warm viewings, cold viewings, or neutral, for example, it will show in this pie graph here, or this round bar graph here, as it would be. And then obviously your hot viewings, you might want to sort of take them to the next step. And the cold ones, you can use other features within Rex, whether you're going to put them on a cold viewing track, for example, and start that nurture journey from there. So Rex Hub's going to work for you in that way as well. You've also got the information around price indication. So as we're all aware, we always might need to have those conversations with vendors around some slight price adjustments to a property. This is going to give your vendor real-time feedback on the price indications of that property, giving them the overall of like what the lowest offer was, what the highest offer was, and what the mid-range offer might have been as well. Now, to give you some context and some real-life scenarios, they might have had a really bad experience in the past with valuation where somebody has said, look, we're going to get you 450 for your property. Deep down, you know that property is probably worth 380 to 4 at a max. Now, you can bring that property to the market and say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, this is all the feedback that we've had from these viewings that we've done on your property. And it isn't us that's telling you that the property is overpriced. It's actually the market. So this bar graph here will just make it a lot easier to have those price adjustment conversations with your vendors. Scrolling down the left-hand side here, they'll then be able to jump into the viewing side of things. So again, just having a look at all of the viewings that have taken place, the total number of attendees, what are the past viewings, and any upcoming viewings. So they'll be able to see all the viewings that your team have worked so hard to get into the diary, and they'll be able to see that on their Rex Hub login as well. Now, scrolling down to the next section on the feedback side of things as well, as I mentioned, we just covered a little bit of this off, but the interest level is going to be really important for them just to get a gauge of, right, the majority of the viewings that are coming through are hot. There might need to be a few different things that we adjust in the property to make sure that the next ones are hot as well. Price indication, again, as we mentioned, very important for those price adjustment conversations. And the feedback notes will actually be there based on the interest level, the price indication, and all of the feedback notes. So again, this will just segregate them on the natural feedback tab rather than it being on the broad overview of the platform as well. Now, something that a lot of our agents that have come onto Rex have all been requesting was around the performance. So having the ability to pull the performance from the portals back into Rex was very, very key for us. Just to give you some clarity from the screen that you're seeing now, at the moment, Rex can pull the portal stats through from Rightmove and on the market. Zoopla aren't actually allowing the portal stats to be pulled through right now. We're working on it behind the scenes, but just to give you some clarity, at this present stage, it will be Rightmove on the market, and you'll see the Rex Reach portal stats that come through as well. Now, if you're familiar with Rex Reach, you'll know that what will essentially happen is that you'll go and place that paid advertisement on the platform. You'll have the platform ad running for a duration of time. Then at the end of that, we will deliver a campaign report. Essentially, what's going to happen here is they will get that real-time campaign report and it will sit in their Rex Hub. So rather than you have to go and print that campaign report off or download it as a PDF and send it to them, we're actually plugging into Rex Reach now so that essentially they can pull all that data straight into Rex Hub. Now, I won't dwell too much on that, but if you are interested in finding out any more about the social media side of things and how it can help enhance the way that your Rex Hub login works, feel free to get in contact. There'll be some inquiry forms that go out if you wanted to have a more of an in-depth overview of Reach as well. Down the left-hand side, as we're going forward a little bit more, you'll have your offers. So they'll be able to jump in and see all of the offers that have come through for that particular platform. You'll be able to see the highest offer that's been made, the offer feedback average. So this is really useful when it comes to essentially looking at the property so that you can say, right, this is the average amount of feedback that we're getting. This is probably where the property sits on the market. It will then show you the highest accepted offer. So again, you can sit there and say, look, we've actually had an offer come through for 435,000. That's been accepted. And then it will show your advertised price and all the offers will sit here. So this will be your active offers. And below that will be any of the other offers that have been submitted by any of your past other buyers that are interested in this property as well. Now, down the left-hand side, as I mentioned again, there'll be the marketing side of the business. Now, this is where you're going to upload all of your marketing material and you can send that for approval for the vendor. Now, the vendors might want to come into here and they'll say, right, we're looking at the images. We don't like image one. So they're going to send some feedback, maybe asking you to remove image one. It's just a very quick way of them initiating the feedback to go back to the agency to get things removed or to get things added to the marketing material. Even as we scroll down, things like floor plans. So having them added in, they might want to change them. It might have been like the demonstration purposes. Top of that image might have been cut off. It just gives them the ability to share that feedback with you. And as we scroll down, they might even want to edit some of the text. So they'll say, Danny, we don't like the phrase a charming home tucked away in a quiet area of Newmarket. Can we change it to X, Y, Z? It just gives you that flexibility to say, right, I'm going to jump back into Rex. I'm going to use my Rex AI summary dictator to go into the platform and say, remove the section about charming home tucked away in a quiet area of Newmarket and apply some more casual language or sell this property to a family home. You know, use the Rex AI functionality to really benefit you. And this will feed back into the Rex Hub to then be sent off for the approval. The next stage of that would be around like the links and the virtual tours. So even giving your vendors the access to go in and view the virtual tours and view the interactive floor plans. You might have spent a lot of time in some of your marketing budget on getting some virtual tours done or some 360 tours or even some drone footage that you've uploaded to YouTube and we've now made that a link in the platform. You know, you might want your vendor to go in and look at that and engage with it and think, wow, they've invested a lot behind this to get this property sold around video content. I'll look at it and I'll share some of my feedback on how I feel the property might be better represented. As I know, I might know some hidden gems in that property that have been tucked away as we've been living here that the agent might be able to focus on. For example, a very cool wine cellar in the basement as an example. And as we scroll down to the next section here, you'll have the document side of things as well. So if there are any documents that your vendor might want to take advantage of, so looking at brochures, so if you've generated any PDF brochures, any market appraisal brochure that they might have, or any title plan documents within the platform itself, you'll be able to see all of those brochures that are stored within this particular section as well. And to be honest, guys, in terms of sort of wrapping Rex Hub up in a nutshell, that pretty much summarizes the sort of the deep dive overview into how it sort of looks and feels. What I'm going to very quickly do is I can introduce you guys to Joel. I know there's been some questions popping up in the chat. But Joel, is there anything that you might want to add in terms of answering any of the questions based on what's been answered so far?
Hello, I think I've just jumped in. Thanks for that, Danny. Yeah, we've got a couple of questions that I can go through now. Let me just pull them back up. One moment. So at the moment, we've got a question actually, a quick reminder, if you're seeing any questions that you're also interested in, as they come through, give it a like and it will float the most common questions to the top for me so we get to them first. Currently, the one I'm seeing is from Howard, and he asks, can we send the Rex login automatically or via the API? So at the moment, the only way to send the link is manually. So as Denny showed, we are keeping an eye on different ways to incorporate it, whether it's through tracks or looking to make it available via our API, but there is not any current ability to do that. So yeah, we'd love to understand those use cases a little bit more. If you can send them through to your support team member, that'll help us collect information on different ways that link could be sent out. But yeah, only via the manual way that Denny showed. The next question I have from Chanel. Do you have to put marketing on manually or does it not pull from the front end of Rex? So yeah, great question. So definitely the marketing that shows in the hub is pulling straight from the Rex CRM. So that's not going to be a manual step for you there. Like a lot of the information, it's same for feedback and offers, and a lot of the stuff that is shown in Rex Hub is just pulling straight from the CRM. So yeah, there's not going to be any of the duplicate entry or uploading photos or anything like that. Yeah, very automated. Next one. Let's see, Matthew, when we try to preview, there's a padlock against the viewings, even when there are viewings booked ahead. Yeah, so sometimes when there's no information in one of the side panels, so Denny ran through overviews, viewing, feedback, performance. When there's no information sitting there, you'll see a common UI pattern where it's grayed out and padlocked, which is what Matthew's referring to there. If you're expecting, which it sounds like you are, viewings to be loaded up and they should be there, potentially that information is still syncing across. So it's been scheduled in the CRM and hasn't synced over to the Rex Hub yet to see. So it should, within 24 hours, appear there. And if it's still not there, then potentially that's a bug that we'd want to look into. So yeah, please let us know how that goes. But that's what you're seeing with the padlock. It's just the data hasn't synced up yet. So we'll see if I've got, I think the last question as well, just around config options from James. Yeah, have configured the marketing approval section off, but still seeing it in the portal. Yeah, again, if you reach out to CX, that's definitely something they'll be able to help out with. I will make sure that that is configured and working correctly for you, James. I think that is all the questions we have at the moment, but I can give it another minute or two if anyone has any others. I can also maybe just, while that's happening, one that was answered in chat, which I can touch on. So Jane asked about the links and how long one of these magic links last. And once they've been viewed, can the vendor log in and view it again? How does that work? And so, yeah, once that magic link is generated and shared with the vendor, that same link and that same email will continue to work. So anytime the vendor wants to go back and access the Rex Hub and the information in it, they can go through that link that they were emailed, they'll click it and they'll be taken directly to their listing without having to do anything else. And yeah, they can do that for as long as that link is enabled by yourselves, by the agents. And so then at any time, for example, once the property has been sold, you can go and disable and deactivate that link so it won't work anymore. You can see another few questions have come through. How do I access the hub from Jane? Might need a little bit more clarification on that question if possible, Jane. So a question from Jake, will there be the option to share pending milestones and sales? Yes. So we did look at this throughout the beta. So yeah, a big comment, you might break up the entire process into 5 or 6 key milestones, typically referred to as sales progression. So currently not there, but we did collect that feedback from our UK beta customers. So it's something that we're looking into at the moment. I can't give any hard time frames, but it is definitely on our radar. Particularly, we know that's a particular importance in the UK. So yeah, thanks for asking about that one. See, we've got a question from James. Can we edit the email that goes out with the login? Again, great question. At the moment, it is locked down. Yeah, but as always, we're listening out to feedback. So if the copy in that email, or just generally the ability to tell a different story, is something that's important to a lot of customers, that's something that is on our radar. That yeah, we're open to expanding and including in the Rex Hub if enough people are looking for it. Question from Howard Russell, is this available for letting listings? So yes, we focus on the vendor use case, but you absolutely should be able to use it for any published listing. And so obviously, different use cases and different information might be important, but yeah, definitely would encourage you to try it out for lettings as well. See, questions are coming through. Appreciate it. Thank you for sending them over. Another question from Perry about the sales progression. So yeah, definitely something we'll keep an eye on. Looks like there is solid interest based on the few questions that have come through so far. Question from Tracy about the inquiry source. So the portal stats that you could see in Rex Hub. So at the moment, this is only for Rightmove and on the market. But what if the inquiry source is via email, phone call, landing page, social media? So the statistics that we can show that Denny demoed about how the particular listing is being viewed and clicked on the portals, like a Rightmove, that's one thing. The inquiry information that he also referenced on the overview page and I think in the feedback page, that is collecting all of the inquiry data that gets fed into Rex CRM. So it does also include things like emails and other options beyond just the portals that we show the statistics for. A question from Sanad. Does the vendor get a notification to say there is an update on the hub? Again, great question. At the moment, there isn't any notifications like that. Again, the workflow, something we did dive into where a new piece of feedback's been updated or after a viewing has happened. And so a big part of this out of the gate is it is a tool we hope vendors can use alongside conversations with agents, with yourselves. So there still will be that conversation like, hey, we've showed someone, you can go and check out this information. But yeah, again, feedback noted that some more ways to pull the vendor in and let them know that there's something new to see would be nice. But currently at the moment, it's definitely, we'll be relying on agents to send them that link and let them know to go and have a look at the information there. A question from Lee. Are there any plans for you to add a buyer self-service option where they can amend their requirements and search criteria, add feedback for viewings, then a buyer self-service? Sorry, I don't know if is there any plans for you to add a buyer self-service option? Add vendor on the brain. Yeah, great question. At the moment, there's no concrete plans. We have Rex Hub is the first release in this vein where we're trying to give tools for, you could say, consumers to log in. And so, yeah, we are looking at other similar use cases, starting with vendors, landlord and tenant portals are also something that we're interested in. And then buyer will be another one that we complete discovery on. So yeah, great idea. And again, something that we'll be keeping our eye out as we sort of progress and monitor the use of this first release. All right, I think we're nearly through. Might be the final question here from James. Where on Rex would we add the part to appear in the agent update section? Oh yeah, good question. So let me double click. I want to make sure I give you an accurate answer on that. Give me 1 second. Well, I don't want to wait too long. Let me get back to you on that one, James. I know exactly what you're asking for. I just need to clarify if it's the notes that are left, and I don't want to sort of direct you in the wrong place. But yeah, there is a very accessible place in the CRM that you're already familiar using where we're pulling those agent updates from. It was previously tied into the vendor report. So I just want to double check. And yeah, we'll get back. And any other questions, if we didn't answer, we can get back outside of this call. So I give you exactly the right information there. And I can see a final question. Yeah, from Jane about accessing Rex Hub. Let's see what, yeah, so how do you I see. So yeah, in the demo, in the dropdown, when you go to reports, and you'll see two new options there. There's the preview Rex Hub, and then there's the share Rex Hub link with the vendor. And so yes, you'll send that link, and that's how the vendor will access it. It is the section above that that's preview Rex Hub that you can click on any listing, and it will load a one-for-one exact version of what the Rex Hub looks like with a banner that's like you're currently previewing, you're currently in preview mode. And you can do that for any listing, and it will show you exactly the feedback, the notes, the marketing, everything that the vendor will see when they click the link. So you can be really confident that you know what they're experiencing. The only other thing I'd say on that, just general usage beyond this demo, is we will also have extensive user guides that cover everything that you saw, how to perform those key actions like sharing a link, like previewing the Rex Hub. And so, yeah, if there's anything that's still not totally clear after the demo, I definitely encourage you to go and check out our Zendesk and the user guides, and that will be where you can find more information. And then if there's still something that's not quite making sense, then definitely reach out to the customer support team, and they'll be able to help make sure you're using the Rex Hub in all the ways that you can. I saw one last question come in from James. So the overall, the hub, very configurable. That current bar at the top is the one area that is locked, where it's consistent just with the Rex brand. Again, we have had a few questions about being able to change that also. So at the moment, no, you're not doing anything wrong. That doesn't change color. But yeah, again, it is something we're considering opening up to configuration as well in the future. All right, I think we got through all or most of the questions. So yeah, again, thank you so much. Super excited to see how you all use it. And yeah, please keep the feedback and requests coming. It helps us iterate on this and make it better and better, hopefully every time you visit it. I'll hand back over to Danny to close us out.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks a lot for your time today, guys. As I mentioned at the start, there'll be an email that goes out after with some of the ways that we're going to collect feedback around this webinar today. So please feel free to give some feedback on sort of how you found the session today. And again, some of those questions that you might need answered, feel free to include them in your feedback. To answer some of the other questions that came through at the start around, are you going to get the webinar sent across to you guys? It has been recorded, so you will receive a copy of it and some communication afterwards. So yes, you'll be able to share it with your team. Not sure why some of your team might have been kicked out, Jane, but we'll look into that. So apologies for that. And again, just to touch on one final thing with regards to the Rex Hub. The Rex Hub will work really, really well for your vendors and your agents, but it does obviously require a lot of the input on the CRM side. So as long as you're updating the feedback side of things correctly, like you would do anyway, and you're updating and adding the viewings in and confirming those viewings and marking them as complete and things like that, that will all feed directly over to the Rex Hub. So it will be second nature, as if to say, I've completed that task for that vendor in CRM. I'm now comfortable to know that that is now fed over to Rex Hub. So we take a lot of the heavy lifting off of your plate there, and we just feed the relevant information across. And as I mentioned to you before as well, you can give them the ability to sort of share what they see in the platform as well. So you can toggle things on and off. And with the magic links that go out, you could disable the access to that at any time. So if you need to disable that vendor from seeing that link, you can disable it and you can re-enable it as and when you please. So that was just a quick fire bit from here at the end there. If you guys do need anything in the meantime before you get the webinar, feel free to reach out. I know a lot of you have my details anyway, and some of the details for the team. Again, as Joel mentioned, any of the support side of things that you might need, feel free to reach out to support if it's a support-based question. Otherwise, I'll let you crack on with your day. I know it's a very, very busy market at the moment. And if you need anything else from us I mentioned, please do not hesitate to get in touch. And I look forward to speaking to you all soon.